So you're welcome to Alaska. Welcome to Arctic Village. What St. Paul we call Arctic Village. Hey, hey, ha, hey, hey, ha, hey, hey, ha, hey, ha, hey, 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 my name is Sarah A. James. I'm from Arctic Village, and we call that place Gwich'in. It means a creek with a high bank. Ko means a creek. Sometimes we just call it Ko. I'm in Gwich'in, here in North Interior Alaska. And Upper Yukon they refer it to too. And we also like 110 miles northeast of Arctic Circle. We're caribou people.
I'm Galen Gilbert, first chief of Arctic Village. Even outside of our 1.8 million acres, you know, that's our traditional spots that our ancestors used to survive, hunt, fish.
This water is clear. It's really pure, clear water.
The lake of water on a river, and we take the ice, we melt that ice. It's good water.
We hunt caribou. It's 80% of our diet, but also we rely on the caribou to provide us with our ceremonies, our spirituality, the very social structure of our community. The men go out and hunt, sometimes the women hunt. They bring the caribou back to camp, and then we sit there and just cut meat.
So sometimes it's hard for me to speak English, trying to explain our way of life. It's different. This is Caribou Lake, and we eat the marrow, and we eat this ligament on it and everything. And our caribou is porcupine caribou. So there's 15 villages near Gwich'in, and we're extended into Canada. There's a border between us for 150 years, but we're still same language, same caribou, same relationship, but the border been separating us for about 150 years. But we still have our way of life and our language.
And it's really river country. There's lots of rivers all around. Fort Yukon is kind of like a peninsula, kind of comes out surrounded by water on all sides. So there's quite a few rivers that come out within a terminus of about 40 miles of Fort Yukon. It's a boat-in only community or fly-in only community. There's no roads to Fort Yukon. When I grew up, when I was little, we didn't have running water in the community or that kind of thing, and so we hauled our water and all that. And then running water got put into Fort Yukon 1984.
A place that we depend on for clean water here in Arctic Village. This is the closest one we got when they have glacier here. And the next closest one is over this end of the mountain. Maybe 12 glacier all around here, around us. And that's the one we depend mainly for clean water. And a lot of people come here and get their water from this git. We call git, and we use glacier. And we have many glaciers we depend on. And this get melted sometime even before midsummer. It's very important to us because it's come from the mountain. It comes from glacier. Climate change made it very difficult to have a clean water because it brings beaver, and because beaver depend on willow, and the more growth, that's where they go. And like we never used to have black bear, now we spot black bear maybe a couple of times.
I used to live for like 12 years. There's no rabbit.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy.
Everything, all the nature and life, they want to clean water. Like everybody, us, even bird, everything breathes that on earth, it needs water. Not the rain, but the water. It's come from the Mother Earth. That's where they gotta save that.
At the beginning of the time, there was only water in the beginning. There was just one person on a raft floating on this giant ocean. A little muskrat swam up to him and he says, "Son," that's what it's called, but the muskrat said, "Son, would you help me?" And that little son said, "Yeah," just like that. And he told him, "Dive down to the bottom of the ocean. See if you can get me a handful of dirt." And so that little muskrat, he dove off the raft, swam down. And he had a little string tied to his foot. Yeah. And pretty soon that string stopped. Yeah. I said, "Eh. Yeah. Ein clay, dingy." He pulled that muskrat back up. And he brought it back on the raft and it was dead. And so he blew into his mouth. You know what happened? That muskrat woke up coughing. And the person asked the muskrat, "Would you dive back down to the bottom of the ocean and see if you can get some dirt again so I can make some land?" And so the muskrat said, "I'll try again." And so he dove off, swam down, deeper than he ever swam before. But then he died again. And the muskrat woke back up again and spit the water out and he dived back down again. He died a third time. And when he came back up, the man asked him, he says, did you reach the bottom?" And the muskrat said, "I think I did reach the bottom." And he looked at his little paw and his fingernails, there was dirt. So the person took the dirt and he tapped it out into his hands out of the muskrat's paw. And he sang a song, and that song started making the dirt grow. And it poured into the water. All that soil was pouring into the water. And then kind of all the mountains and all the land started to rise up out of the water. And the raft was on the land, and they walked away together. And so that's how the world was created. And so when you think about like what's in stories and information about water, it's like at the center of it, and it's at the beginning of it, and it's where all the land comes from. And we think about who's responsible. Gwich'in are responsible. Yeah. It's Gwich'in who are responsible. It's Gwich'in who are responsible. Yeah. We're responsible for the land. And that means we've got to take care of it.
So for years I stood up and fought corporations, the state, the feds, fighting for our homelands. We created a organization, Red Oil, resisting environmental destruction on indigenous lands. We stopped development in the Yukon Flats. But climate change was one of the biggest issues.
I think this was about 2 or 3 years ago. Our fish, whitefish, we put net out for them and they had sores on them, and we could even see them in the water when it was tested. Then we got the results back. It was the temperature of the water that was causing the sores on the whitefish. So that was very disturbing, and that worried a lot of my people. So global warming is really in effect.
Even last time when I went sheep hunting, I had to pay $600 charter to the mouth of the Red Sheep Creek. And now we're fighting that too. We've been fighting that for a long time to keep that red sheep healthy, and we've been keeping sport hunting out of that area.
Lots of diversity among Gwich'in too, so you have to have a good faith, talk about the water, and that one group's not going to decide over another group. That you can work together to keep it clean. We did it with the Yukon River Intertribal Watershed Council, where all the tribes got together and cleaned up the Yukon River. That's a big river, thousands of miles long. 70 tribes, First Nations, from the headwaters down to the mouth, moving out millions of tons of hazardous waste. And they did it all by consensus. We didn't rely on the national government. They never did anything. We didn't rely on the corporate governance. We inserted ourselves in the discussion. You know, Te'etera, and that which we do together, that's our sovereignty.
Water is a living thing. You know, if it brings life to us, then it itself is also, you know, a living thing.
Water born first.
Yeah, water
What's born first?
Yeah.
So I'm teaching how important traditional value, we don't want to lose it. So it's still going on in this community. I see them, they're sharing.
Okay, well, Sarah, our elder Sarah James has a few words she wants to say to you all.
True. That means we talk about water loss. We need a lot of help. Every time when you hear about saving your water, be there for it. Be there for people that's not even born yet. Thank you.
So how do you say water?
Quincy.
You know, in English, I say your subject, and you have your verb in the middle, and then the end is an object, and so things become objectified. And the end point of an English sentence is objectification. It's always about things, right? But when you're talking about ways of being, that's when Denaka, Denjijuka, our languages, that's where they shine. And it's not about an object at the end. It's about how we do things together. No, the deliverable is a stream from me to this guy, and then on down to his kids, and what I've received from my father and my mother and my grandparents before them, and what they received all the way down. And it's just like a stream. Like when I'm out on the river with my nephews and they're drinking from the river and they're drinking a cup. Certain rivers, it's just pure water. It's not the cup of water that's the point. Other people from outside of where we are going to try to govern here. And they said they're going to have ideas and they're going to have experts. They think that they know better than we do. They think that because of the way we live, that there's a judgment that we're inferior, or that we're not modern, or that we haven't thought things through, or that we don't have a philosophy, or that we don't have thought process about it. And those are the people who are going to try to govern us with their ideas. And there's only one question you got to ask them: is, can you dip a cup of water into your river where you're from and drink it? If the answer is no, then you don't need to listen to anything they have to say, I told them. You don't need to listen to anything they got to say, because they don't know what they're talking about. For other indigenous people all across Canada and Mexico, they're the same as us. They got the same stories, same language, say it differently a little bit. Related languages, unrelated languages, but related in philosophy. Everybody out there is completely capable of self-governance, and when other people come in and apply governance from outside, where it's like we're the majority and we're going to tell you what to do, that doesn't include our human rights. Like outside governments, Canada, national governments, corporate governance, Other kinds of governing institutions and bodies got to understand that it's like we have our own governance, and we're not a minority in our governance, that we have the right to consent.
They had a big meeting here in Fairbanks, 1915. The U.S. government, they wanted to put all Alaskan natives onto reservations. Our chiefs in the interior came together for this meeting, and they told the U.S. government that they don't want to live on reservations. They want to live in their homeland and hunt, like they've been doing for hundreds of years. They ended up putting a stop to that. Otherwise, if they didn't come together and do that, we'd all Alaskan natives would be living on a reservation right now. During that meeting, a guy from my hometown village of Tanana, he made this song, and it's saying in there, our words will carry us through. So 108-year-old song. Destaca.